Barack Obama joked last night at the Al Smith dinner that he was born on the planet Krypton, fathered by a man named Jor-El, Superman. If we're going to cast the candidates in fiction, that means what we need to know next is how Superman would fare in a battle against Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The current McCain strategy, to the extent that there is one, seems to be to put on the charm offensive in public and to play down and dirty in private. Use the charm as a sort of, hey, look over there technique to hide the offensive. So here's the charm part of it. Senator McCain, by most accounts, killed last night at the Al Smith dinner in New York City.
It began so long ago with the heralded arrival of a man known to Oprah Winfrey as the One. Being a friend and colleague of Barack, I just called him that one. He doesn't mind at all. In fact, he even has a pet name for me, George Bush.
Personally, I thought that Senator McCain's speech was pretty funny, except for the part where he stopped joking and went off on that awkward long tangent about all the bad things he wants to do to our colleague Keith Olbermann. Shots at the press, totally expected. Unfunny, I want to hurt that one guy stuff. I thought that was weird. Anyway, McCain also appeared on David Letterman's couch last night trying to make nice.
It's been a tough campaign, and I'm sure the next 19 days will be even tougher.
Pretty close.
But think of all the material that it gives you for the next 19 days. There's going to be kind of a sad feeling around here when the election finally takes place.
We're going off the air, John.
Look, now's not the time to raise anybody's taxes except yours. And I guarantee you, when I'm president, I'll do it.
Are you still doubting that the McCain campaign is engaged in a high-stakes charm offensive? Well, I present to you Exhibit C, Cindy McCain handing out candy to reporters aboard the Straight Talk Air Express thing. Also, Exhibit D will appear on your television set tomorrow night when Sarah Palin makes a cameo on Saturday Night Live. Here's what she said today about that upcoming appearance.
I just want to be there to show Americans that we all rise above the political shots that we take.
We all rise above the political shots that we take. Does anybody else sometimes have a hard time understanding what she means? Is it just me? Anyway, so I said this was a charm offensive. This is the part where the charm, the in-public comedy late-night chat-fest portion of our programming, gives way to the under-the-radar offensive. Have you seen the mailers the Republicans are distributing in the battleground states? Like this one, sent by the Nevada Republican Party, once again trying to tie Barack Obama to William Ayers, including the ominous tagline, "Barack Obama, not who you think he is." Or this one, claiming, quote, "During the Wall Street meltdown, Obama put Hollywood above America," which is kind of a remarkable charge coming from the McCain campaign when McCain announced he was running for president on David Letterman's couch. Then there's the robocalls that the McCain campaign has become so fond of lately. My guess is that most people will find this robocall more offensive than charming.
You need to know that Barack Obama and his Democrat allies in the Illinois Senate opposed a bill requiring doctors to care for babies born alive after surviving attempted abortion.
That's right. They are telling people, don't vote for Barack Obama because he wants to kill infants. He's against caring for babies. You know, it was only 9 months ago that John McCain had robocalls running against him in the Republican primary that said he wanted to kill babies. McCain at the time denounced those calls, just as he did back in 2000 when it was robocalls that spread the charge that he fathered an interracial child and that went after Cindy McCain for her past drug problem. When those robocalls were used against him in 2000, McCain called robocalls like that hate calls. But then again, John McCain lost in 2000. So apparently the lesson he learned from them was not that they're a cowardly vehicle for expressing hate that you don't want to be held accountable for. He also learned that they work. So do they? And will they this time? Time to bring in my friend Mudcat Saunders. He's a former senior advisor to the John Edwards campaign. Mudcat specializes in political strategies for reaching rural voters. Mr. Saunders, it is great to see you. Thank you for being on the show.
Rachel, I love it.
What does it tell you about where the McCain campaign thinks they stand right now? If they are trying to pull off this dual strategy, being charming and respectful and generous and funny in public, but they're also running these vicious robocalls, these direct mailers, where they're just trying to tear Obama apart, what does that say about where they think they stand?
Well, in most campaigns, when you get started, the first thing you want to do is to define yourself and lay down a positive base. Then, you go and define your opponent, which is, a political term for peeling the hide off your opponent, and then you move back to positive at the end. And I think they're in a transition mode, and they're trying to figure out how to get back to positive. I don't think these robocalls work. Anybody, watching tonight would say, I'd say 99% of them, that they don't like robocalls. Most people hang up, and especially if the robocall is negative, they hang up with a very negative impression. And the reason they're doing robocalls now is because they're cheap. You can do robocalls in any congressional district in America for $7,500 or less, but they are ineffective.
I wonder if the charm in public, attack in private strategy is less viable now than it was back in 2000. You can try to stay under the radar with things like direct mail and these robocalls, but ultimately now bloggers are going to call you out on that stuff. They're going to post the audio online. They're going to scan the flyers and post them online. You sort of can't get away with doing this stuff on the sly anymore, can you?
Well, of course not. But see, John McCain's problem is this, and I agree with James Carville, something he said 6 months ago. John McCain, in reality, may be the most insignificant presidential campaign in the history of American presidential campaigns. This is a referendum on Barack Obama, and that's why he's pulling this stuff off. The Republicans are a bruised brand, and the only way that they feel like they can get anywhere is by chipping away at his numbers. Personally, I don't know where John McCain is going to go with this strategy. I've thought about it, but as we're all aware, momentum trumps everything in politics. I don't know how nothing short of kryptonite is going to get him there.
Stepping back from the strategy here for a second, John McCain is well known to all of us. He's been running for president for a long time. He's been in Washington for 26 years, and we all sort of felt like we knew who he was. He's on record calling robocalls like this hate calls when they were used against him. Are you surprised that he has decided to run a campaign like this, or was it inevitable?
The robocalls, the best they can hope to get out of it is to start some kind of whisper campaign. And there are some whisper campaigns going on out here, and there is a lot of misinformation out here. I was, in a beer joint the other day eating lunch, and a guy comes up to me and tells me that Barack Obama is a Muslim and has a crazy preacher. And I said, well, which one is it? And he couldn't obviously answer the question, but he said, Mudcat, you don't understand. Their book, meaning the Quran, says we're a bunch of infidels. And I said, hell, our book says we're a bunch of infidels. And it's this strategy of just attack. At some point in time, they are going to have to go back positive, like they never have before, like it's never been shown in this campaign so far, because you've got to lay a positive bet at the end. You can't end on a negative note and expect to win. It's not going to happen.
Mudcat Saunders, former senior advisor to John Edwards. It's great to see you, Mudcat. I'm looking forward to having you back soon.
All right, Rachel. Thank you.